Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the best day of the week to purchase plane tickets in order to maximize your savings. We're also going to talk about which day of the week is the best day to actually fly to further maximize your savings. You may have heard that Tuesday is the day, and we're going to explore that together now. Stay with me. To help answer these questions, I looked at three separate research reports. The first one was Expedia's 2026 Air Hacks report. And in this report, Expedia analyzed airfare from late 2024 to late 2025. So they had about a year's worth of data. And they determined that Friday was the least expensive day or the cheapest day to book tickets. So if you sat down in front of a computer on a Friday, you were likely to get the best deal. Sunday, on the other hand, was the most expensive day to book tickets during that time period. However, they did note that there was only a 3% difference between the least expensive day Friday and the most expensive day Sunday. So they determined that it was a pretty minor or minuscule difference. Also, Expedia said when it comes to U.S. specific flights, that Saturday was the least expensive day to book those tickets. Now, that's only a 2% difference between the most expensive day and the least expensive day. So again, very minor differences. You'll note, though, that Tuesday wasn't even mentioned as one of the best days to book tickets on. The second report I reviewed is from Google, specifically Google Flights. According to Google, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, they did mention Tuesdays, by the way, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are likely to save you about 1.9% if you shop for tickets on those days versus Saturdays and Sundays, which they found to be the most expensive days. So again, a small difference there, about 1.9%. On a $400 ticket, that would be $7 and change. But Google did say that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are likely to save you a little bit at least versus booking on the weekends. Before I talk about the third report, I just wanted to remind you, stay with me, please, because I know that we haven't had any exciting information so far, but trust me, at the end of this video, I do have a big reveal, and I'm talking a 20% reveal, so stand by. This third research report, I took a look at cheapair.com, and cheapair.com analyzed 917 million different airfares, and they determined that there is no specific day of the week that is best for booking tickets. They said that the most expensive day of the week versus the least expensive day of the week is only $1 difference. So if you sat down in front of the computer on a certain day versus another day, the most savings on average that you would have based on the day of the week is only $1. Interestingly, though, very interestingly, they said that the average ticket will change in price 49 times during that ticket's selling life. And the average ticket will change each time by $98. So what I'm inferring is that these tickets are constantly fluctuating in price by about $98 per time, yet it has really nothing to do with any specific day of the week. So if you see a ticket you like, you might want to watch it for just a little while if you have time to do so, because it's very likely, according to cheapair.com's data, that that ticket will change in price multiple times and on average $98 per time. All right, now that we've dispelled the Tuesday myth in terms of when to actually sit down and book tickets, let's talk about the best day of the week to travel in order to maximize your cost savings. And this is where it gets really interesting. So according to the Expedia study, Tuesday is the cheapest day to fly domestically within the US. You can save up to 14% if you're willing to travel on a Tuesday versus a Sunday, according to Expedia. Now, looking at Google's 5-year analysis, they found something similar. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays were likely to save you 12% versus weekend departures. All right, so Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Now, for domestic travel specifically, because I was just talking about all travel, but for domestic travel specifically, you can save up to 20% if you are willing to travel on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays versus the weekend. And taking a look at cheapair.com's huge data set, it looks like Wednesday was the cheapest day to travel. Tuesday was the second cheapest day to travel. And Wednesday, by the way, averaged $102 savings on average per ticket if you're willing to travel on that Wednesday compared to a Sunday, which they found to be the most expensive day to travel. So in a nutshell, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, probably Tuesdays and Wednesdays specifically, are going to be your cheapest days to travel, and your weekends are going to be your most expensive days to travel. And you could be saving up to $100 per ticket if you're willing to travel on those days versus the weekends. And specifically, Sunday is the most expensive day to travel according to this data. And there you have it. There's no best day, no cheapest day to sit down and book your tickets. However, there are best days to travel so that you can maximize your savings. We've determined through these reports that weekdays are indeed better than weekends by up to 20% on average per ticket. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe so we can continue bringing it to you. Take care.